What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. Today we're going to be breaking down Donald Parham, tight end for the Dallas Renegades, looking at his potential fantasy production for the 2020 season. But hey, if you guys are looking for XFL content, feel free to click that like and subscribe button. We'll be posting stuff daily throughout the entire XFL season. But anyway, not going to waste any more time. Let's get started on Donald Parham right away. Alright guys, so as I'm probably going to iterate in every single tight end video, the tight end spot is going to be the hardest one to figure out in the XFL. We already know how hard it is to get a solid tight end producer in the NFL. It's going to be even worse here, but we're looking at a guy here that could potentially break that mold and be a great every week start for the tight end spot, and is going to be worth a higher overall pick for that reason. Donald Parham is an athletic freak, is incredibly huge, and has been making a ton of head-turning catches in training camp and practice, and has been one of the most highly touted players across the XFL. And I think he's going to be a dominant force to be reckoned with, someone that Bob Stoops in that air raid offense is going to look to early and often, and should be a very dominant red zone receiver alongside Jazz Ferguson. They're just going to be really hard to stop on all sides of the ball, and I think that Donald Parham is going to be a pretty big focal point of this offense, at least as far as tight ends are concerned. So when we look at some of his metrics, just ridiculous. 6'8", 240 pounds, 35.5-inch arms, 98th percentile. That's ridiculous wingspan. He's only 22 years old, so he definitely has the opportunity to showcase his talents here and potentially move on to the NFL. 92nd percentile catch radius, 94th percentile burst score, a 4.73 40 time, which is decent for a tight end, decent speed, and just overall was dominant throughout his college career at Stenson. Now granted, they're not, any major school by any means, but when we look at what he did, especially in his senior season with 85 receptions and 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, just an absolute dominant force. He's basically a wide receiver in a tight end's body, and I don't see any reason why the Dallas Renegades wouldn't continue to use him in that regard. I'm very high on Jeff Badet and Jazz Ferguson. This is going to be one of the better teams on offense, and I think Donald Parham is that perfect complement to those guys, and should be used heavily in the red zone, heavily on those 1, 2, and 3-point tries. And this is a great opportunity for Donald Parham to be able to showcase his talents to get into the NFL. I've been teetering between pushing Donald Parham all the way up to the top tier, and I think I'm going to do it just from the overall potential that this guy offers for the XFL. I think he could be a cheat code at the tight end spot, and should be someone that will be heavily considered when setting daily lineups as well. He's one of the very few tight ends that I'm actually excited when I talk about him, so that alone should show his potential value in the XFL. So very highly rated guy. Definitely has a downside in the fact that he's also playing along another good tight end in Sean Price. So we'll see how much value he ends up holding, but I think that Bob Stoops is a rational coach. Donald Parham's talent should be utilized in the best fashion possible, and that would be getting him utilized all over the field. Hopefully he stays healthy, but with a best comparable to Ladarius Green, I do think that he has the potential to be an absolute force to be reckoned with in the XFL. So I'm super excited to see what Donald Parham does this season. Anyway, if you guys are looking for fantasy rankings, click that link in the description below, or go to fantasyaddictionnetwork.com. You can see I have all these guys ranked for your fantasy leagues this upcoming week. And if you guys are looking for daily XFL and fantasy content, click that like and subscribe button. We'll be posting stuff all season long. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.